Peace, guys. How's it going? Patrick, Conservative Rap. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the beautiful word tariffs and why they're effective, why we should be excited about them, um, in contrast with what you may be hearing from mainstream leftist media. And even some people on the right, actually, who are looking at markets, looking at trends, looking at short term dynamics. Trump once said recently, I thought it was fascinating, just as a quick aside, our economy is really set up with a perspective of 3 to 4 months. Most of the comments that you're seeing currently, it's based off how our markets operate, how our economic outlook is kind of functioned. And China, for comparison, when they look at their economic models, they're thinking out as far as 100 years. So something to think about. Trump also once said recently that tariff is one of the most beautiful words in the English dictionary. There's wife, there's family, there's love, and tariff. And it surprises me. I don't know if most people are aware that the trade war that we're now taking a bit of aggressive action on actually has been going on for a very long time. China refers to it as a hybrid war. And, whereas once there was like tanks, military missiles, and so forth, now these economic policies really represent the interplay between nations. It's really fascinating what's happening, and it's very interesting. I'm going to first read from Tablet Mag, Why Tariffs Are Good. Donald Trump is back, and so is the tariff. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? The president quipped before the joint session of Congress. It's so beautiful that he referenced tariffs 17 more times in his address. In the short time since inauguration, Trump has imposed and sometimes walked back or temporarily suspended tariffs on China, Canada, and Mexico, and declared a policy of tit for tat reciprocity or retaliation for any foreign tariffs on American exports that are higher than U.S. tariffs. And he's justified tariffs with multiple rationales: protecting and reshoring defense, critical American industries, pressuring America's neighbors to take action and reduce the cross-border flow of illegal immigrants and drugs like fentanyl. That's one of the things with China, which is really kind of the key enemy here. They enable fentanyl to come into America with some of the like initial products that go into its manufacturing. So it's a very important thing that we're tackling here. He told members of Congress tariffs were about protecting the soul of our country. So think about that. From the Daily Caller, Scott Bessent, Secretary of the Treasury, reminds China that they need access to U.S. markets far more than America needs access to their economy. And Scott Bessent is interesting to me. He's not the most confident speaker, but his logic, if you actually listen to some of the things he's saying, it's impeccable. The escalating trade war between the U.S. and China has reached new heights, with both nations imposing significant tariffs on each other's goods. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has argued that China's retaliation, raising tariffs on American goods, will ultimately harm China more due to the trade surplus with the U.S. The U.S. exports far less to China than it imports, making the proportional impact of tariffs more severe for China. The issue is further complicated by geopolitical tensions, including issues like fentanyl epidemic and China's role in global trade practices. China, I think, has about, from my research, 5 times as much of a reliance on our importing of their products than we do to theirs. There's a proportionality issue, meaning that their economy is fundamentally imbalanced. Their whole economy is based on exploiting this sort of trade dynamic. I didn't know this actually, but even in the stock market, there are Chinese companies that take profits from trading and use that to boost their military, including against us. So even some Americans, like hedge funds, etc., based off their trading actions, I think we may look at eventually is removing Chinese company stocks off of the stock market to increase the pressure here. Next from Zero Hedge. Will Trump end the Fed or put himself in charge of it? Also, I thought this was interesting as an aside. There is this executive order called Ensuring Accountability for All Agencies, and it reflects President Trump's push to centralize oversight of federal regulatory actions under the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs, OIRA. The order aims to increase accountability by requiring all significant regulatory actions to undergo presidential review, although it notably this excludes the Federal Reserve's monetary policy functions. The broader implications of this move include debates over the balance of power between independent agencies and the executive branch. Additionally, the reported plan to give the president a role in monetary policy, potentially ousting the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, signals a shift in how monetary decisions might align with broader economic strategies, such as tariffs and interest rates adjustments. So, fascinating stuff down the pike. I think for us, the big thing is understanding that we're in an economic shift, riding the wave, trusting the commander in chief to do what he does best. I mean, if there's one person that personally I would trust with America's financial destiny, it's someone who's been in business for the amount of time that he's been in, and understands, as one of his books is titled, The Art of the Deal. It's wonderful seeing this stuff play out on the world stage. Let's see where it heads, guys. But remember, we're moving from one financial system, which is slavery via inflation and taxes, into a new reality, which is the golden age, the liberation of American people from this American uh, Federal Reserve based history of exploitation. So more to come soon. Check out my TikTok and my Instagram for the rhymes, for the poetry, and feel free to leave a comment below. What do you think? What are your thoughts on some of the tariffs, their intermediary effects? And do you think most people you speak to are looking at long term what we're extrapolating ourselves from, right? A patient undergoing surgery may not like how they immediately feel during and immediately after. Someone going through a detox may not actually like how their body feels when they're going through a detox. If you fast, you don't like how it feels when you're abstaining from food. Similarly, at the financial perspective, I see a um, similar dynamic playing out. So, more to come soon. Thanks for taking a listen, and take care.